I was at the lowest part of my health. 39th birthday, I think, I woke up and I was like, I need to do something different. I'm driving into work. I'm like, the first gym I find, I'm gonna pull over and sign up for a year. No, what if you don't like it? I was like, if I don't like it, I'll quit after a year. Like I had to do something different. It's the confidence. I'm not ashamed of my body anymore. Walking with pride is kind of nice. I train to stay as healthy as I possibly can. I want to be able to move and be flexible for my kids, my grandkids one day. Like, I see my parents struggle with health and how just moving around is very difficult for them. And that's a big fear of mine, and I just do not want to go down that rabbit hole. My name's Tony Salama. I just turned 50. 50 was a big milestone. I work in animation. I'm a line producer. I come to the gym a lot. I enjoy hanging out with my family. At 50, it's the simple things at this point. I'm just trying to live in the moment, enjoy my family, enjoy my kids, enjoy anything I do anymore, right? Like watching TV, being outside in the garden, playing basketball a lot. I'm trying to stay active. I know if I keep moving, I'll sustain it for as long as I can, and that's, I think, the ultimate goal right now. Just to be as healthy as I can be. Throughout my 30s, I told myself I'd be healthier when I hit 40, and I was at the lowest part of my health adventure or experience. I was very, very overweight. It hurt to tie my shoes, and I was like turning 39, and I kept telling myself I'll be fine at 40. So I woke up at 39th birthday, I think, I woke up and I was like, I need to do something different, right? So I'm driving into work. I'm like, the first gym I find, I'm gonna pull over and sign up for a year. And I drove by CrossFit Reason. I pulled in 1.0 on first, and you could even ask Eric. I was like, I'll sign up for a year. And he's like, it doesn't work that way. No, what if you don't like it? I was like, if I don't like it, I'll quit after a year. Like I had to do something different. I bent over to tie my shoes, and I'm like, my gut hurt, and I was like breathing heavy. I was sweating, and I'm like, I just got up in the morning to put the kids in the car seat and tie my shoe, and I'm like out of shape. It was eye-opening. When I was a kid, again, I played a lot of basketball, but I never went to the gym. I never worked out. I was always really thin, so I never had the need to go to or at least I didn't think I had the need to go to the gym. But then as soon as adulting happened, and having kids, all of a sudden you're like, oh, everything, your metabolism slows down, and you get hit by a wall, right? Like you're like, oh my God, I need to do something. So in my 20s and 30s, it was just partying, family life, kids, and then things just spiraled out of control, and you're like, ooh, I gotta fix something. First day at Reason, it was intimidating. Everyone had their shirts off. Everyone was yoked out and like throwing bars around, especially at 1.0. This was like 10 years ago. So that was intimidating at the beginning, but I was like, I've signed up. My goal is to look like one of these guys at one point, at least, so it hasn't happened yet for some reason, but that's on me. But you learn that it's all show, and everyone's nice, and it was like it's a great experience to have here. Early on, it was just show up, right? Like it was a natural, or it was a win just to be here, right? I was like, oh, I showed up. I could sandbag it a little bit, or at least I'm moving around, and did that for quite a few years, and the results weren't as prominent as I'd like them to be. So then all of a sudden, you start fine-tuning a little bit, and eating a little bit better, working out a little bit harder, or paying attention to certain movements. Again, being competitive, double unders, I really wanted to get them right, and at first it was like, these are impossible, or even kipping pull-ups were really hard. So with time and with okay, I've been here long enough, I should be able to do these movements, or even know their names, let alone know their names. So slowly, as time went on, it was like, all right, I gotta focus on skill level, the movements, and just trying a little bit harder. Yeah, you know what? They increased my prices, and and I was like, ooh, and it was a Christmas. They give out those Christmas mugs with the number of classes you've done per year, and I think it was one of those perfect storms where they just increased my prices, and I was like, oof, this is a lot now, and it's like, and I've only been here 80 times in the year, and I was like, you break down that per class, and you're like, ooh, I'm paying a lot of money for for something I'm not using enough and I'm not seeing the results I wanted. So it's like, all right, I either quit or I come every day and focus on eating and focus on getting as much out of it as possible to see if it's worth it for me. And that's been 3 years now, and I've been coming almost 4 or 5 days a week. It flipped the switch for me. I think the biggest thing for me is I dropped 35 pounds. And it was a slow evolution, so you don't see it until like enough people say it and you're like, oh, or you look at old pictures and stuff. So it worked. I dropped 35 pounds, and I'm definitely better shape in my 40s and now 50s than I was in my 30s, and that was the ultimate goal from day one, right? I was like, I gotta walk in and change my life physically, and it totally did. The confidence alone, which I didn't think would happen, is astronomical. Like, I'm happier, I'm more confident, I feel great, I really do. Physically, I feel better than I did in my 20s, which, I think is a big deal. It helps me keep pushing through. I might not see it physically, I'm not as defined as I'd like to be, but man, I do feel a lot healthier, and it's the confidence. More confident at work, with my friends and friendships, my kids, my wife. I feel more present for them. I feel healthy. I'm not covering up all the time. I'm not ashamed of my body anymore. Walking with pride is kind of nice. It's not only physically, right? It's like this mental clarity too, where like, oh, I can do this. And I apply it to a lot of things where I'm like, man, getting up in the morning and going to the gym was so hard the first few months, but ultimately now it's, part of my routine. So it's like, okay, if I can conquer that, I can conquer any kind of obstacle, right? Like, oh, there's a big task at work and it needs to be done at the end of the week. Instead of feeling overwhelmed, it's like, all right, sit down and just map it out and tackle that obstacle with the kids, with the wife, with just anything in life now. I wouldn't be who I am without my wife, for sure. I wouldn't be who I am without my kids. They make me lead by example, right? Anytime I do anything now, it's like, oh, they're watching or they'll see the end result. So it's easier to do the right thing when you have a bunch of children watching you, so my family. I've built friendships over the last 10 years with a lot of these people, and they're more than just friends, they're like family now. So, it's a community that keeps us together, and it helps us achieve our goals. You come in here for fitness, but you leave with more, right? You have friends and family and a mindset that has changed me. The reason community is tight-knit, everyone is very different. Everyone does a different job, and we all come together and have the same goals, right? It feels like this gym has catered to people who really want to try hard, and everyone has their own fitness goals, but we're all pushing, to cheer each other on. We're joking around, we're laughing, but everyone's working really hard, so it's a blast. But ultimately, I think I'm working out just so I can play as much basketball as I can, right? I really do enjoy playing basketball, and at one point I considered quitting because it was just like too much on my knees and my back, and I'd get injured a lot. But again, this journey of coming to the gym almost every single day has helped prolong my basketball endeavors. I train to stay as healthy as I possibly can. As we get older, things slow down, things get harder, and I want to be able to move and be flexible for my kids, my grandkids one day. Like, I see my parents struggle with health and how just moving around is very difficult for them. That's a big fear of mine, and I just do not want to go down that rabbit hole. My name is Tony Salama, and I'm a recent athlete.